This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 522 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. Hi, Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is from Steve Davis, an AFA certified farrier hailing from Franklin, Tennessee. He is a current member of the Board of Directors of the American Farriers Association and a regular speaker at AFA conventions as well as equine expos and local and regional club meetings. Today's tip is about farrier communications, from smoke signals to smartphones. But before we get to today's tip, a word from our sponsor, Kentucky Performance Products. Does your horse or pony get fat on air alone? Is he living in a dry lot or turned out with a muzzle? Can't feed him more than a handful of grain and some hay? Then you need Microphase. Microphase is a great way to ensure your horse or pony gets all the nutrients he needs to stay healthy without adding extra calories to his diet. Microphase contains the vitamins and trace minerals not found in grass or hay, ensuring that your easy keeper gets everything he or she needs to stay healthy without the excess calories. And your horse will eat it right out of your hand. Feed as little as just 2 ounces a day, so it's efficient as well. There are no added fillers, just good quality ingredients, including natural vitamin E and gut conditioners. Not every horse needs a supplement, but when they do, turn to Kentucky Performance Products to provide affordable, effective, research-proven supplements that work. It's that simple. Ask for Kentucky Performance Products Microphase by name at your local tack or feed store, or visit them online at kppusa.com and on Facebook. Just search for Kentucky Performance Products. Now, enjoy today's tip. Greetings, Steve Davis, extraordinary farrier who gives us great tips. What have you got for us today?
One of the most often asked questions is from not my clients, from other farriers' clients. How do I communicate with this guy? He won't talk to me. It's kind of like a T-shirt I saw one time. My farrier is like my cat. He doesn't come when I call him, and when he does come, he does as he damn well pleases. That's a sad commentary for our profession.
Now, let's set aside the fact that you are a member of the Board of Directors of the American Farriers Association. Would you tend to agree or disagree with that description?
Oh, unfortunately, in some cases, it is true. I hate to admit that, but it is true.
So how do we fix it?
The greatest thing about our profession and your horses that we make our living with is that in order to serve your horse and to look out for his best interest, you must communicate with your farrier. If you have concerns, questions, whatever, you need to have a farrier who can sit with you and talk to you intelligently that you can understand, that will answer all your questions. And this is a common problem amongst everybody. Everybody's busy. We've got to go. We've got to get this horse done and get to the next horse, and it is a problem. I think the best way to handle it is just to say, listen, stop. I'm paying you this money to take care of my horse's feet. Now, I want some answers. I want to know why he's doing this. I want to know. You have to sometimes just take control of the situation. A lot of people have a farrier who's very giving, and he cares about your horse, and he wants only the best, and he will take time out to sit and answer your questions that all of you have, and it needs to be in a way that you understand, because after all, it's your money. It's his time, but it's your money. And
so
it's your horse.
Would this, and I've seen this one, it's never a good idea to ask your farrier an important question when you're talking to his butt. Don't try to ask these questions when he's working on the foot. You know?
This is true. This is true. And my grandfather said one time, never talk to a lady from underneath a horse. Get up and act like you have some type of sense in class, and you stand up and you talk. Don't talk to anybody while you're under the horse. Well, the same thing goes. Don't bother your farrier maybe while he's under there. Pick a time, because trust me, after he's been under there about 5 minutes, he'll look for an excuse to get out from under that horse. But anyway, you need to communicate with your farrier. Sometimes you just really and truly, you just have to take control of the situation and go, listen, I have these questions. You've got to stop long enough to answer me. And you're standing there writing him a check. You have every right to know your answers.
That's the time to ask him an important question. When you've written his name in the pay to line, but you haven't signed it yet, look him in the eye and hold your pen off the paper and say, okay, not signing this thing.
Take your time writing that check. Yes.
Answer that question.
Answer that question.
Yeah, and do you have any specific suggestions for everybody's number one farrier communication issue, getting them to call you back?
Unfortunately, that is another problem. And I wish I had an answer for that one, but I think it varies from farrier to farrier. Some are just better communicators than others. If you're uncomfortable with it, then find another farrier. But I do think that we in my profession are getting a lot better about keeping in contact with our clients. And for goodness sakes, this is. It's just a simple phone call. Everyone has a cell phone. If you're running late, you're running behind, you want to hear if your farrier is running late or running behind. You don't want to stand there and hold your horse. You want to know where this guy is. And he should call and say, hey, I'm running 30 minutes late, which we all do sometimes.
So from your point of view as a professional farrier, because sometimes the communication problem is at the other end. It's on the customer side. I'm Susie, the horse owner, and I have to call the farrier because my horse pulled a shoe last night. I found the shoe. It's Monday. But by golly, I have to leave for a horse show on Friday. So I'm calling on Monday at noon in a panic that my horse needs to have his shoe put back on. Are there some parameters of how customers should be reasonable? Because one guy's emergency is not another guy's headache necessarily. Just because Susie, the show writer, wants her horse's shoe put back on by 9 p.m. Thursday night and it's Monday afternoon, when should the customer say, I really should be getting called back, versus the farrier gets the message on his cell phone and says, that can wait till after I eat my lunch. Do you have some maybe personal examples?
It varies, but here's the thing. This profession that we have is a service, and it's a service to you, and you pay handsomely for it. You deserve to be treated. Your horse deserves to be treated with respect. You've paid the money. He's left. You lost a shoe. He stands behind his work. If the farrier will not stand behind his work and will not come back, put the shoe on in a timely manner, I hate to say this again, find you a farrier that will. There's no excuse for that type of behavior from a professional, whether it be a baseball player or a horseshoer. If he's performed a service, he's been paid for it, then it's his obligation to see that that is a satisfactory job. If he's lost a shoe, usually a farrier will say, this is guaranteed for so many days, put back on, no charge. A lot of farriers will do that, and that time varies. But the key to it is if you've cast a shoe you have every right at that very point in time to call your farrier and say, I've lost a shoe. And you should expect it to be on in a timely manner. And I'm not talking 2 or 3 days.
Ooh, you're tough.
I'm tough.
Do you have kids, Steve?
I'm tough on these guys. I want them to get that shoe back on that day and get it on within a few hours.
Do you have children, Steve?
Oh, my land, yes, I do.
Ah, now it's all clear. Got it. Now it's all coming clear.
Yes, it is.
Well, once again, fantastic information. How to use Morse code and smoke signals to speak with your farrier. Wait until he's standing and talk to him before you write the check.
Exactly.
And I've found in my experience that oftentimes a large Dunkin' Donuts coffee with extra sugar goes a long, long way when that shoe has been pulled off for the 4th time in 3 weeks. And step it up.
I love that suggestion. I wish you were one of my clients.
I learned early on to spoil my farrier. It really makes a difference if I spoil my farrier. Nice ice-cold iced tea in the summertime, hot coffee in the wintertime. You bet. And a clean hoof. Please don't give the farrier a hoof that's covered with muck.
Please don't do that. No.
He'll talk to you more if you clean the feet first.
Exactly.
Thanks a bunch, Steve. We'll see you next time.
Look forward to it.
Well, there you go. Thanks, Steve. To listen to all of Steve's tips or contact him about speaking at a function, just go to horsetipdaily.com and go to the experts drop-down menu on the left or top borders. To learn more about the AFA, as well as fascinating stuff about hooves and farriery, go to AmericanFarriers.org. Please stop by the Horse Tip Daily Facebook page and let us know what you think of the tips you hear on the show. It's also a great place to tell us about topics you'd like to hear us cover. You can subscribe to all of the great shows on the Horse Radio Network through iTunes or Zune and get your horse podcasts automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, go ride your horse! The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.